All right, Dolphin fans, my mom is absolutely obsessed with the show. Let's make a deal. So, let's go ahead and make a deal. If you want to get more free agency videos on this YouTube channel, then this video has to get to 500 likes. So, the deal is, if this video gets to 500 likes, y'all are going to get more free agency videos. Coming up here on Dolphins Today, we're going to be breaking down some of the top free agent targets that I believe the Miami Dolphins should go out and sign in 2022. Now, for those of you that don't know me, I'm Mitchell Renz. We're Chat Sports, and we are an interactive YouTube show. Now, and some people are always like, all right, well, how much money do the Dolphins have? So if you're looking for team needs, salary cap, and targets, you are in the right place. Heck, I'm going to give you 35 players that the Dolphins could look at. In terms of salary cap space, I mean, I'm not that good at math, but I know it doesn't get much higher than one in terms of who has the most salary cap. As it stands right now, it is Miami with $67.6 million. As you can see, the other teams here, but I mean, it's a pretty far drop-off from number 5, the New York Jets. So in terms of, does Miami have enough money to go out and spend on a big-time spree? Yes, they absolutely do, and the salary cap's going up. So in terms of offensive needs and the way that this show is going to go, I'm going to be breaking down the Dolphins' top 5 offensive needs, and we're going to go by position by position. Now, some of the positions only have 5 players listed, and it's the top 5 guys. For the Dolphins and offensive tackle, I'm going to give you 10 names because it's a big-time issue. So coming in here at number 1, the number 1 offensive tackle that Miami should look at, Terron Armstead, who I believe is one of the best tackles in all of football, when 100% healthy. Let's now go to Orlando Brown, who I get it, was once a right tackle, but he wants to play left tackle, so he's number 2 on my list. Eric Fisher, he was featured in a PFF article. I talked about him on yesterday's show. Another very reliable guy around 30 years old. Dwayne Brown might be up there in age. I think he's like 35, 36 years old, but has been able to show that he's a solid left tackle. If you need somebody that can just, I don't know, come in, be a year or two stopgap type of guy, definitely somebody to keep in mind. Now, maybe you want to keep Liam Eichenberg or Austin Jackson on the left side. You want to go out and get a right tackle. Morgan Moses, I believe, is one of the better right tackles, and look at that beard. Come on, man. Let's go to number 6, Cam Robinson, another solid tackle. Again, you're looking at more of somebody who could probably be on the right side or on your left side of your line, but at number 6, Trent Brown. He's on the right side, and at one time, one of the best right tackles in all of football. If you want somebody that can really pound the rock, Trent Brown might be your dude. Riley Reif. He's done a pretty solid job this season for the Cincinnati Bengals. I personally think he's a little bit overrated, and he's playing a little bit higher than what I would give him a grade for, but that's because he's in a really good offense. Let's go to the last 2 guys here. Jermaine Ifedi for the Chicago Bears coming in at number 9, and actually his teammate Bobby Massey. So the final 2 players, both for Chicago, have had some injury issues, and Chicago also has had a very bad offensive line. But if in terms of who are the top 10 offensive tackles in free agency the Dolphins should target, here you go. Now, what do y'all think is the Dolphins' biggest need? I think it's offensive tackle, and it's not me hating on the guys that they have. Miami's invested a lot on that O-line, but at the end of the day, I watched the Dolphins. They had the worst offensive line, probably the worst offensive tackles in the entire league. Really wasn't that close, so for me, it's OT, but you guys, let me know. Let's go to number 2 here in terms of Dolphins needs. It's wide receiver. Now, why? Miami has a lot of players that are about to be free agents when you look at it from top to bottom, and you still want to be able to put some weapons around Tua. So coming in here at number 1, the clear favorite is Devontae Adams. I just really, truly believe he's the best receiver in all of football right now. No disrespect to Cooper Kupp. Coming in at number 2 is Allen Robinson. I get he's coming off a down year, but this guy made Blake Bortles good. He's been good almost everywhere he's been. It just took an absolute idiot like Matt Nagy to take Allen Robinson out of the offense. Let's go to number 3, Chris Godwin. He is coming off an ACL injury, but one of the more versatile route runners, liked him a lot since he's come out of Penn State. At number 4, if you're trying to put some more money in people's pockets, I mean, people are going to come watch OBJ. He's an electric receiver. He also comes with some drama. Personally, this would be somebody that I would stay away from because of the injury history, and Tua's not going to be able to feed him the ball like he wants. Number 5 here, Michael Gallup, who again is coming off a ACL injury of his own. I want to be able to put receivers that can run really good crossing routes, something like you saw a lot from Jalen Waddle this this year. Michael Gallup might not be this high on other people's lists, but for the Miami Dolphins, I think he's top 5. Coming in at number 6, Juju Smith-Schuster. If you're building a dance team, he might be number 1. Another receiver, though, who can catch the football effectively in the middle of the field. Another guy, Christian Kirk. I actually have always liked Kirk. I like his physicality. I think he's a good run blocker, and I think he would be another really good guy to work with Tua well. DJ Chark coming in at number 8. As you guys are going to see, it's a pretty deep class from top to bottom. DJ Chark, he kind of got lost in the shuffle things with Urban Meyer and the Jags. Well, you guys know the Jags are a dumpster fire. Cordell Patterson, the Atlanta Falcons, but Mitch, wasn't he a running back? Well, yeah, which you guys might see, hint, hint, wink, wink. But he's also a versatile wide receiver. And if I was Miami and I'm not happy maybe with somebody like Lynn Bowden Jr., bring in Cordell Patterson, who's a better version of Lynn Bowden Jr. And at number 10, Mike Williams. Now, Mike Williams might be higher on a lot of other people's lists, but I don't know how Mike would fit in this Dolphins inability to be able to go down the field vertically. I think Justin Herbert does a good job with it, but that's just not simply Tua's MO and all the injury history that Mike has had. Now, which wide receiver will Miami go out and try to sign? Not which wide receiver should they sign, because most people are going to be like, oh, I want Devontae Adams. Oh, I want Chris Scott. Like, I want the top guys. No, the question is this. Which wide receiver do you think Miami will sign? Now, if anybody out there wants to bet on the Super Bowl, the NFC, AFC Championship game, depending on when you watch this video, maybe the playoffs are over. You want to be a total degenerate? Go bet on the Pro Bowl. I've done that before. If you want to bet on heads or tails, prop bets, you're going to be able to do all of that with our sportsbook partner. Now, to take advantage of the best deal on the internet, and I tell you this, it is the best deal on the damn internet. You got to go to chatsports.com/bet. Promo code Dolphins125. That's going to get you a 125% deposit bonus, which means you deposit $100, get $125 for free to bet with. Put down $200, get $250 to bet with. Put down $500. Big baller status there. $625 for free to bet with. How do you get it? Chatsports.com/bet. Promo code Dolphins125. Let's go to the third biggest need here for Miami. It's the running back position. Now, I always come on this show and say running back's one of the easiest positions to be able to replace, which that I agree with. But if you also want to be able to take some pressure off your offense, you want to take some pressure sometimes off that offensive line, find a guy that can run the ball between the tackles. Coming in here at number 1 is an absolute touchdown monster, James Conner. I don't know how effectively he would be in an offense, not as potent as Arizona, but a really hard-working guy, can also catch the football. James Conner's at number 1. If I could be honest with you, 1B might be Leonard Fournette, who I know a lot of Dolphin fans are big-time fans of. He was a popular name that would continue to pop up on shows maybe like 2 years ago, when all his drama was going on around Jacksonville, but I like Leonard Fournette a lot. He's number 2. Number 3 is Melvin Gordon. He's had a lot of work history. I also like his ability to be able to run between the tackles, catch the football, solid pass blocker. Number 4 is a name that you've already seen. It's Cordell Patterson. I mean, if you wanted to bring in Cordell, he kind of like resurrected his career, put him back there in special teams as well, can do a lot of great things for you. If you were trying to go somebody where you can be a little bit more cheaper, maybe more bang for your buck, Marlon Mack. Marlon Mack was a 1,000-yard rusher in 2018-2019. Played college football at USF, so he's got some connection down there. I've actually heard from people that he wants to play in Miami. He wants to be a featured back. If you're trying to save some money, hey, why not go ahead, give this guy a shot, because ever since Jonathan Taylor came into town, he can't get on the field. Now, here's my always thing that I ask you guys a lot, and I know I asked you guys last offseason. Should Miami sign a free agent running back? Y for yes or N for no? My stance is I personally don't spend big on a running back. I would rather go in the draft, because you can find these guys on young rookie type of contracts, which they can come in and be really solid. You see far too often teams, they pay running backs a lot of money, or they go out and trade for a back. Jordan Howard, Matt Breida, Malcolm Brown, we go on, and it doesn't 100% work out. So let me know. Y for yes, N for no. Should Miami sign a free agent running back? Now, the offseason, I get it. It's not during the regular season. It's easy to pay attention to the Dolphins when the season's going on. But if you want to prove to me, and honestly even yourself, that you're a diehard fan, now's the time to sub. But again, this is the time of the year where coaches and even y'all can help build a solid roster, because this is when you make the great picks. This is when you make your free agency moves, your draft moves, the next head coach. All that stuff is going to happen this time, which is why it's important to watch in the offseason. So hit that sub button, turn on those notifications, because if Miami goes out and they sign anybody, like any of the players that I'm mentioning, we're going to be making a video about it, and I don't want you to miss it. Let's go to number 4 here in terms of offensive needs, or Miami Dolphins needs. It's the interior offensive line. Now I was going to break it down into offensive guard and to center. Not that there wasn't enough big-name centers on the board, but I just figured, you know what, we're going to go interior offensive line. The first guy coming up here is center Ryan Jenson, who is a really tough dude for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and if you're trying to replace Michael Dieter, then hey, Ryan Jenson's probably the top guy. Let's go to number 2 here, Brandon Scherff. He is just a bad man. He is a mean dude, and he is probably one of the best, if not the best, run-blocking offensive guard in the entire National Football League. Now, sure, you get a little bit better at pass blocking, but if you want to be a tough guy, you want to be a tough team, go out and get Scherff. Let's go to Laken Tomlinson, who I think is actually one of the more underrated guards in the National Football League. A lot of the concentration goes to Trent Williams, and I would be curious to see if Tomlinson would be as good if he wasn't with Mike McDaniel or if he wasn't in a Kyle Shanahan type of scheme, but he's number 3 on my list. Let's go to Andrew Norwell, a little bit more of a veteran, one of the better offensive linemen, especially if you're looking for an offensive guard who can pass block, but again, didn't have that great of a season because, well, Jacksonville is a dumpster fire. Connor Williams is coming in at number 5. Now, there's going to be a lot of Cowboy fans that don't really like Connor. I think he should be a lot better than what he has shown thus far. And the Cowboys have done in the past a good job of being able to build players. But I do think Connor has some talent, and this just could be a situation of maybe he just needs simply a little bit of a change of scenery, and he's going to be much cheaper than all 4 other guys here on screen. So which interior offensive lineman should Miami go out and get? Are you going to spend big on guys like, I don't know, Ryan Jenson? Would you spend big on somebody like Andrew Norwell, Brandon Scherff, or could you potentially go with a little bit of a cheaper round and go out and get somebody like Connor Williams or somebody else I didn't even mention? Let's go to the final need here, and it's quarterback. And I do think quarterback still could be looked at as a need. Now, as it stands right now, Stephen Ross, Chris Greer, they've been pretty sturdy in terms of Tua Tagovailoa is going to be the starting quarterback in 2022, which for that route, I'm going to say, okay, let's stick with Tua as the starting quarterback in 2022. But Jacoby Brissett, he's going to be a free agent. So that means you probably have to go out and sign somebody as a backup. Now, some of the names on this list I think are better than Tua. That doesn't mean that they would be a backup like Jameis Winston. If I was building a team, personally, I think Jameis gives you a better chance to win than Tua. He's number 1. Now, Marcus Mariota for the Las Vegas Raiders, I would actually rather have Tua than Marcus because of his inability to be able to throw the ball. But, hey, get 2 guys from Hawaii, bring them in there, have backup quarterback. Mitchell Trubisky, he was not good whatsoever with the Bears, but I wonder how much that had to do with Matt Nagy. He looked pretty good in the preseason with Buffalo, learning 1 year behind Josh Allen, Brian Dable. Could be a risky move, but who knows. Teddy Bridgewater coming in at number 4. He's more of a check down, dink and dunk style of QB. He might get a chance to start somewhere in the National Football League, but if you want to look for a good backup, Teddy Bridgewater might be the top guy. And then coming in at number 5 is a name that y'all absolutely love, Ryan Fitzpatrick. He was working with Tua Tagovailoa. He was unable to play for most of the season because he had a hip injury. But if Fitz is healthy and you could get him back on another like $10 million deal, I mean, he was better than Tua in 2019. He was also a great leader, and people always rant and rave about how much he helps quarterbacks because, I don't know if you guys have ever heard this before, Ryan Fitzpatrick went to Harvard. Now, if you guys haven't already, you can always hit me up on Instagram at Mitchell Renz 365. More than happy to break a few things down for you, answer your Dolphins questions, answer your fantasy football questions, your NFL questions. But if you made it this far in the video, that means we're doing something right. Let's make sure we get more subs, though, on this channel because I'm not going to lie to y'all, this channel is growing. You're the 12th channel ever to hit 20K subs. Let's keep the momentum rolling into the offseason and then into the regular season.